You are welcome. You are welcome to the Messiah channel, End Time prophetic channel dedicated to awakening the world for the arrival of the Messiah. The Messiah is coming very soon. The final trumpet of heaven has sounded. And as a result of that, you see so many things happening in the world. So many events are happening in the world. The end time players are in the news. And today we are looking at Donald Trump, the trial of Trump, and the matters that are arising. And of course, that is a judgment. It's a judgment on Donald Trump. But I will also say that it is a judgment on Babylon, and the major judgments on Babylon are going to follow. And the question we are asking is judgment on Babylon? Is it judgment on Trump? And what is happening? Is it an ordinary event? Of course, it is the politics of a country similar to the politics of any other country. And so there's nothing about it. This is what some people will say. But as I look at events and how they unfold and are unfolding, the trial of Donald J. Trump and the conviction of Donald Trump by a jury in New York is not an ordinary event. It is part of an end time event, and definitely is part of the prophecies relating to Babylon. And it shows that we are in the end times. And so wherever you are, whether you are inside America, you are outside America, you are watching events in America, what you have to know is that the events show that we are approaching the final hour of the coming of the Messiah. And so there is confusion in the dark kingdom as the dark kingdom is preparing for the arrival of their own Messiah. And of course, they are also aware that their time is short. And so we are looking at it. We are looking at Donald Trump and the trial of Donald Trump from a prophetic point of view. 1994, I remember O.J. Simpson. There was a trial of O.J. Simpson. You are aware of that? And American legal experts, they said that is the trial of the century. No other trial is comparable to the trial of O.J. Simpson. And what about the Nuremberg trial that tried those who were committed of war crimes after World War II? Is it not also very, very important? But fast forward from O.J. Simpson trial, 2024, you are aware, the decision of a jury to convict Donald Trump, 34 counts, and that is considered as the trial of the century. Basically, it is a trial that has overtaken O.J.'s trial. The first time a former president of the United States and has been criminally charged and prosecuted and found guilty on 34 counts. You are aware of that. And it's a judgment on Donald Trump, a president or former president of the United States and a presidential hopeful. It is also a judgment on Babylon, United States. It's a judgment because now we have the specter of a convicted felon being Donald J. Trump. Will he be able to run for election as a president? Will he be elected as a president of the United States? And the questions are very, very important because constitutionally, I believe nothing will prevent Donald Trump from running as a president, even though he has been convicted of felony. And that is the irony. It's the irony because in the United States, if you are a convicted felon, there are so many things that you cannot do. But here we are, a former president has been convicted of felony, and he can run as president of the United States. And so all over the world, people will say the 47th president of the United States is a convicted felon. And so whilst convicted felons in other countries will not be allowed to be the occupant of the highest office in the nation, United States is not like that. And so that is a contradiction. And yet, United States says that their constitution is the best in the world. A French philosopher went to United States and examined the politics of the United States and made a comment that the American Constitution is the greatest document ever prepared in the world. And so now we are living to see testing the veracity of that political statement. And here we are, we see a constitution that will be tested. Will be tested because will the constitution support a convicted felon becoming a president of the United States? And if Trump is incarcerated or he's put under house arrest or suffers any form of limitations on liberty, can he still run as president of the United States, and will people vote for him? And so the Lord has judged America in the sense that now the whole world will know that in America, nothing happens. Even when you are convicted as a felon, you can still be the president of the nation that boasts as the leader of the civilized world and the mother of democracy. And so here we are looking at a constitution that considered a black person as 3/5 of a human being. And we are looking at a constitution that supported the lynching and segregation of Hebrew Israelites who were scattered to the United States. But at the same time, the Constitution protects a convicted felon who wants to run and become the president of the United States. And so the Lord has given Babylon up to a reprobate mind in Romans 1:25-26. And as you are aware, the United States is leading the world in the road to sodomy, and the Lord has given them up. And so now politically, the world is going to see that in the United States, a convicted felon, criminally prosecuted and convicted president a former president can still become the president of the United States, and by default, the leader of quote unquote the civilized world. And that is the situation we have ourselves. And so it's judgment on America. If America will call herself as the leader of democracy and the leader of the world, and has the moral authority to lead the world. The question is, how can that be? How can America lead the world when the leader of the nation is a convicted felon? And so matters are rising, and America will be you'll be the cynosure of all eyes. Every eyes will be on America, and people will be watching. And these interesting things are happening at interesting times because we are in the end times. And as a result, so many unusual things are happening, unprecedented things, unprecedented in the history of America, for a former president to be prosecuted in court, indicted criminally, and found guilty by a jury. And as we are talking about it, we are talking about a time when the kingdoms of the world, they are passing away. And as they are passing away, we see signs that they are passing away. And they are passing away because prophecy is being fulfilled. And our brother Daniel gave us an indication of the time that we are in as we go to the book of Daniel, Daniel chapter 2, verse 44, Daniel 2.44. And in the days of these kings shall the God of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever. The prophet Daniel is talking about the end times, and is talking about what will happen to the kingdoms that exist in the world. And the prophet is saying that in those days, these kings, they shall be toppled. In the days of these kings shall the God of heaven set up a kingdom. In the days of these kings, who are these kings? Well, they are the presidents, the Freemason presidents, and the prime ministers, the leaders of the world, those who convey annually at the United Nations, a Luciferian organization, those who are members of secret societies, those who are selected by our secret societies, are those who will be doing the bidding for the Antichrist in the last days. The prophet Daniel is saying that in the days of these kings, including Donald Trump, including Emmanuel Macron, including the Bidens, including Putin's, in the days of these kings shall the God of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed. And so we are in those days, we are in those times. The times are ripe for the Messiah to set up a kingdom. And so politics is in order in America as people struggle for power, struggle for who will control the Congress of the United States, who will control the Supreme Court of the United States, and who will sit in the Oval Office. Constitutionally, it's possible that a convicted felon can occupy the Oval Office. And it will be a wonder to the world. They will ask a question, how come America elected a convicted felon? But the prophet Daniel is saying that in the days of these kings shall the God of heaven set up a kingdom that will last forever and ever. And so the issue is that America will be judged. And America has been judged, and America will continue to be judged. And Daniel 2:44 is very, very important. I was pondering over Daniel 2:44, the prophecy in Daniel 2:44, the kingdoms of this world falling apart, and a kingdom going to take over, the kingdom of the Messiah. I was thinking about it. And so I look at Daniel 2:44, and I was looking at America, and I said, America got their independence, quote unquote, on in July 4th, 1776, and you add 244 to it, you get 2020. And the year 2020 is very significant in American politics. You are aware what happened in America in 2020, and that was the time when Trump was in power. And you know what happened. The credibility of America's political system was actually in question. You know what happened in the year 2020. And Trump said that America is a third world country. So what happened to the most civilized nation in the world? What happened to the best document that had ever been written by a human being, as proclaimed by a philosopher from France who visited the United States? Daniel 2:44 is hovering over America. And those who are saying America is too big to fall, too big to rake, they are living in a fool's paradise, because the prophet Daniel foresaw a time when all kingdoms will fall. And don't let anybody fool you. Assyria fell, Egypt fell, Babylon fell, Rome fell, and Britain thought that it would not fall. The British politician said that Britain will not fall, and it will be the leader of the world. Not long, 1956, there was the Suez Canal crisis, and Britain was defeated. And the next year, 1957, the colonies in Africa got their independence, and that was the end of the British Empire. Britain fell, and America will fall. And it will fall not because political scientists are saying America will fall. It will fall because that is the tenet of Daniel's prophecy in Daniel 2:44. So America is falling politically, economically, and militarily. And when you see the specter of a convicted felon being a leader of a major Republican party, potentially being a selected president of America, you know that Babylon is not rising, but rather Babylon is falling. Things are falling apart. It reminds me of a novel written by Chinua Achebe, a Nigerian writer who wrote the book Things Fall Apart. America is falling apart. And when America is falling apart, prophecy is our guide. And so we'll go into the prophecy book, And we'll go to Jeremiah chapter 50. Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 1. The word that the Lord spoke against Babylon and against the land of the Chaldeans by Jeremiah the prophet. Declare ye among the nations and publish, and set up a standard, publish and conceal not. Say, Babylon is taken, Bel is confounded, Morodak is broken in pieces, her idols are confounded, her images are broken in pieces. That is the oracle of judgment on Babylon, and that judgment, that oracle is still pending for Babylon, Babylon, United States. The prophet Jeremiah, the prophet on judgment on Babylon, is saying that Bel is confounded, Morodak is confounded. The prophet Jeremiah is saying that the idols of Babylon will be confounded, they will be destroyed. And those Babylonians who put their trust on the idols, they will be confounded, because their idols will be confounded. Donald J. Trump is an idol. He's an idol for those who worship him. And it's not only Americans who worship Donald J. Trump. There are so many people who worship Donald J. Trump. In Israel, some people think that he is a Messiah. And so they had his name on a coin that was recommended by the Sanhedrin. And they had a train station named after Donald J. Trump. And he was in Israel 2017. And alongside him were American evangelicals, including Pastor John Hagee. And they considered Donald Trump as a Cyrus who was chosen by God to lead Israel in the end times, in the times such as this. So it's an idol, American idol, the world idol. It's not only Americans who worship Donald J. Trump, but Trump has fallen in a big way, having been the first American former president to be criminally indicted, prosecuted, and convicted of felony. And there are a lot of ironies. Not until the Civil Rights Act of 1964, black men and women had no right to vote. The tables are turned. And so in a dramatic event, having a black man, a Negro, if you will, became the first district attorney to indict a former president of the United States. And lo and behold, the prosecution was superb, and Trump was convicted by a jury. So things have changed. The tables have turned, and the Lord is showing wonders. Because in Deuteronomy 28, verse 45 to 46, the Lord said that things will happen to the Hebrew Israelites, and it will serve as sign and wonder, showing that they are the children of God. And so after 400 years of captivity, we see a Negro in the person of Alvin Bragg being the first person in America to indict a former president, an idol of America, somebody who is vested with all the privileges, all the benefits of white privilege, all the recognitions and the privileges that you can think of being the president of the United States, he was indicted by a Negro, and it has resulted in the conviction of Donald J. Trump. Donald J. Trump is not an ordinary person, and he's not a saint. Nobody is a saint, even though Trump believes that he's a saint, and even though his supporters believe he's a saint. Because on July the 20th, 2018, I had a vision. I've already made a video about it. In that vision, I saw Donald Trump signing a document titled The Real World Order, which prophetically should be interpreted to be the New World Order. When I woke up from the vision, I was stunned. Is Trump also among those who are promoting the New World Order? So let no one deceive you. Let no one deceive you, regardless of how many times they mention the name of the Lord. Let nobody deceive you, including the idols of America, the presidents who stand on the podium. They put their hands on the Bible and swear by the name of God. But indirectly and secretly, they are worshiping a God. And that brings us to America and the role of America in the last days. What role has America to play in the last days? The founding fathers of America, did they prepare America for a destiny, a special destiny? And the answer is yes. As we look at the history of America, and the inscription is very clear, Novus Ordo Seclorum, which is on the American dollar bill. And here we can write a dissertation about the Great Seal of the United States and the symbolism in the seal, the unfinished pyramid in the seal. What is unfinished? Something is unfinished, and the founding fathers of America know what is unfinished. And when the seal of America was adopted in 1782, the founding fathers of America knew that there is an architecture, a pyramid, that is still unfinished. And so later on in 1935, the president of the New Deal, Roosevelt, under him, the Department of Treasury adopted the seal of the United States and put it on the dollar bill. Of course, we are talking about a president who was a Freemason. We are talking about a president who was a Freemason, and his vice president was also a Freemason. And so when we are looking at America, we are looking at the leaders. We know that the leaders of America have prepared America for a role to be played in the end times. And I'm sure that that role will be played before Daniel 2:44 event. And when you see tension in the political system, don't be fooled. Don't be fooled when you see Democrats and Republicans fighting among themselves. Because in the kingdom of darkness, Paul has told us that we do not wrestle with flesh and blood. We wrestle with principalities and powers. We wrestle with the kingdom of darkness and spiritual wickedness in high places. And so don't let anybody fool you by telling you that they are on the side of God and the other people are not on the side of God. We are looking at end time events happening in America. The indictment and conviction of Donald Trump, the man that I saw in a vision July 20th, 2018, signing the satanic world order. And the man that later on in 2020, I believe, I saw who was going through judgment. I already made a video about it. And so I'm glad that things have unfolded. The events were revealed to me in vision, and now they have come to pass. And I thank Almighty Elohim for showing me the visions, showing me the things that are working behind the scenes. The Bells and the Moradaks in Babylon, the idols, will be confounded. And the other day, somebody sent a video to me where supporters of Donald Trump were weeping. They were crying because of the conviction of their idol, Donald J. Trump. But now we see judgment on Donald J. Trump. The next day, the next time, the next hour, we will see judgment coming to Babylon itself. Judgment is coming to Babylon. And the prophet Jeremiah said that. He said it in Jeremiah 50 verse 2. Baal is confounded, Moradek is confounded. The idols of Babylon are confounded. Babylon is confounded. Babylon is broken. The idols are broken. Babylon is confounded. The land of the Chaldeans are confounded. And when you see the indictment and prosecution and conviction of Donald J. Trump, you know that the prophecy in Jeremiah 50 verse 2 is applicable here. And you should know that judgment on Babylon is going to follow. And you know that the redemption of the Hebrew Israelites are at the corner. And we know that Daniel 2:44 will be fulfilled, because these kingdoms, in the time of these kings, in the times of presidents and former presidents who think that they are above the law, in the times of these kings will the kingdoms of the world be destroyed, and another kingdom will come in that shall never be destroyed, the kingdom of Elohim. And so watch what is happening in America, and know that it is not just political events unfolding. We see prophecy being fulfilled, where idols of Babylon are being confounded. Judgment has come into is coming to Babylon. It has already come. Judgment on the idols has already come. Judgment on Babylon is next, and prepare for that. Thank you for watching this video. Subscribe to the channel and share the videos with your friends, and hit on the notification button as we prepare for the arrival of the Messiah. Thank you very much.